This is Madeline Lemire with Spartan Youth Radio, and I'm here with Francois Cloutier, representative of the Liberal Party. Welcome, Mr. Francois. How are you today?
Excellent. How are you, Madeline?
I'm pretty good. So we actually invited all of the representatives of the different parties in the area to come out and speak specifically about the youth issues that our station often deals with. So I just wanted to ask you, how does your party hope to address the future concerns of Canadian youth?
Well, that's a great question, Madeline. The Liberal Party is proposing and taking several different approaches to trying to get the youth involved and to, speak to them directly. Some of those initiatives you might have heard is the Liberal Passport. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we want to make sure is that the youth have the same opportunities no matter who they are, no matter where they live. So the Learning Passport basically will work like this. Every youth who is in high school will get $1,000 a year put into a registered savings account to attend post-secondary education. So it'll be $1,000 a year times 4, so a total of $4,000. And if they are from a low or middle income family, that amount will actually go up to $1,500 a year for a total of $6,000. That's one of the things we're doing. One of the other things we're doing as well is we'd like to establish a youth service corps. So basically, a lot of youth, after they finish high school and get involved in the community and they do some volunteer work, we want to encourage that. We think it's a great thing for youth to get involved. So what we would like to do is whether they do community service within Canada or even outside of Canada, we would then forgive up to $1,500 in federal loans for school. So that's another way we'd like to engage them. The other thing we want to do, for example, is enable online voting, because we all know that youth are very involved with new technologies. Mm-hmm. We hear the Twitters and the Facebooks and all those things. So those are the types of steps that we would like to take to really try and engage youth.
But why is it that you think that so few teenagers are engaged in politics and mostly international affairs and even caring about their country? I mean, do you think it's that technology gap? Or?
Well, that might be part of it, but I really think personally that youth want to be involved. They just don't feel like they're being listened to. They don't feel like they're being heard. So how do we give them the opportunity to be heard? I think technology is one thing that we can do. For example, one of the proposals that we want to bring forward as well is enable online voting. Mm-hmm. So I think that will help to get youth involved. But nowadays, more and more, it'll be all of the population. But obviously, as a youth are growing up and being exposed to technology and computers and all those things, obviously, being able to vote online would certainly go a long way, I believe, to make that happen.
Well, one of the complaints that I often hear from a lot of the teenagers, especially in this area, is that they feel that their needs, especially as students who are going to college or university, are not met. I mean, the country's cost of living is going sky high. The cost of gas is actually about to rise again, which will probably drive up the cost of food. And the cost of tuition is ridiculous, and I can't even, for myself, begin to budget how I will be affording my education, because I know that the prices that I have online to look at my university are predicted to rise. So do you have any other way besides this Learning Passport to, better? Do you have any plans, perhaps, of even helping universities to lower tuitions or anything?
Well, in terms, the university tuitions is a provincial jurisdiction issue. So we at the federal government cannot impose lower tuition costs. Again, I'll go to the learning plan because that would address many of those problems, or to a large degree some of those problems. If you have $4,000 extra in your bank account when you start university or college, I think that would go a long way in addressing some of those issues that you're talking about, whether it's the gas, the food, and so on and so forth. Now the resources are in your hands to be able to succeed in life. So what the federal government can do is possibly through transfers to the provinces try to address that, but at the end of the day, how things are run locally is a provincial issue. So that's why we are proposing the Learning Passport, because that's something that we can do very directly to each and every family in this country.
Okay. Well, many of the issues also faced are, which are not often discussed, but are unique to the Native population, Inuit, Métis, and etc. And a lot of people still feel that there have been, the way the system works, that it discourages people from these communities to really go to school. How does your party have any plans to address that, or?
Well, we certainly do, and I'll bring you back to 2005. Under the Paul Martin government, there was an accord called the Kelowna Accord, and it was hailed, across the country and around the world as a breakthrough agreement between the government and First Nations. And basically, the idea behind that is it would give First Nations the power of self-government over time. I mean, it's a process that you have to go through, but it was the first step, and it's something that we hold dear. We certainly believe that the way to, have people have the same opportunities is to give them the tools that they need to be able to succeed. So if we give them the power of self-government, and they can then address their own needs, whether it's housing, education, healthcare, and so on, then I believe that over time they will certainly be masters of their own destiny, and that's something that we're striving for.
Okay. Of all the issues in your party's platform, what do you think is the most engaging to the youth of this district?
Well, again, to me, I think that the most important thing is the learning passport for the youth in this district, but also for all across Canada. Now, for this district specifically, we all know that over the last 2 years there's been a global recession. A lot of people are hurting, but more so in our riding, because we depend in a high degree on the forestry industry. I can tell you that on Highway 11, where I live, and Highway 17, and even here in Espanola in the region, a lot of people have been affected very dramatically by the downturn. So that learning passport, again, gives the resources to the people, to the youth, to be able to have a chance at equal opportunity of education and having a bright future. And that, I believe, is the key to success for the future of Canada.
Okay, thank you. Well, we just have a couple of more minutes left, so I'd like to invite you to say anything that you think would be important for our listeners to hear.
Well, I guess the question would be on most people's minds is, why would you vote for Francois Cloutier? Well, I'll give you 3 things. One reason is that I have deep roots in this riding. I was born here. I understand the needs and the challenges of the people in this area. Number 2, I have a proven track record of creating jobs and economic development. And number 3, I know how to bring people together to get things done.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much. Once again, this is Madeline Lemire with Francois Cloutier, and we're here at Spartan Youth Radio. Thank you.
Thank you.